Today I want to take you on a tour of Midnight Train. Midnight Train is an older trail for Kajabi. Midnight Train and Firebreak are kind of more original ones. Rich did a lot of work on it years back, probably 5 or 6 years ago. And then Frank came up and slept up in this area with James and Esau. They camped out and spent a week or two working on it early last year and got it in much better condition. Sean and I did some work on the lower sections. We made a beeline. It used to be really narrow, straight, steep, but now we've got some places where you give your brakes a second to cool off. This is after some of the recent work that's been done. Right now we're heading toward the start. So for a race, we'd start right here. And you drop into the forest, and just beautiful forest. Little ramp that Rich built. I love this corner. Last year for the Enduro, it was a little loose, and we probably had 3 or 4, not crashes, but slide outs on it, and now it's worn in pretty well. I nearly blew straight through that turn. So this is where we started working last year, and then James and Esau took up some more berm building in the last couple of weeks, and it's super fun. You're riding through the forest on single track, and all of a sudden there's this bike park quality berm.
New ones.
And then you get into the rock garden. There's several different lines through here. Lower might be better right there, I'm not sure. And you have to watch out for that tree. One of the things I love about these trails is I can see all these landmarks and features and remember all my crashes in days past. For this section, just a few routes, and when you have routes that are parallel to your bike or running at awkward angles, they can be sneaky and put you on the ground quickly. Ones perpendicular to the trail are not a big deal, you just pop over them. So you want to go as fast as you can through here, but you have to be careful, just with little holes and vines and roots. But it's a fun section. I'm hoping we can berm out a little more for some of the awkward corners. Right now we're fairly flat, but we're about to get into steep bits, which is why Rich loves this trail so much. So something I've learned about berms in the past couple of weeks. If you watch some of my other videos, I really struggled when we went to Europe, and I finally figured out why. Coming into a steep berm, I was struggling because I was braking hard into it and still kind of braking through it. And if you're braking with front and back through a berm, you're going to drag your back tire. And it sounds terrible and it feels terrible. But what I've realized is grab real hard here and then let go of the back brake. And then you're not going to chew up the berm, and you'll carry more speed coming out of it. So when you're in Kajabi, try that. Brake hard into it and then let loose. So here's Frank's jump. It's just got reworked, so it's got a big, nice landing. The GoPro did me a favor there. I really don't jump it very much. Really slightly more than rolling off of it. But really I've only done it 4 or 5 times since it's been rebuilt. And once I've ridden it 20 or 30 times, I have a feeling I'll be in the air. This is a section that Sean and I worked on some last year. Good flow, good pop up and down. This last section was always rough until the guys got hold of it last week, and look at these beautiful turns. Just awesome. They benched out this section, and then one more nice berm on the last corner.
Sweet.
Just beautiful, beautiful. And now you get into some fast bits. I'm going to turn left to go down to the tracks. There's a jump line if you go straight, but the ending has been kind of torn up by some forest guys. Hopefully they're planting new trees. So this section, I don't know if you can tell on the GoPro, but it is steep, but it's really fun. And then you'll have a drop down to the train tracks for the ending. You don't want to go off the cliff to the left there, but it's very rideable. So that was Midnight Train, and I turned left to come over into Three Amigos. And I've shown this video a few times, but I don't think I've ever really talked through it. So this section, it's twisty, turny, all over the place. You got to be careful, you know, nail a branch. But you actually do want to take a couple pedal strokes in the middle. Then you dive down to the road. So that's just a fun little section. But if you do all three of these together and you want a good time on Strava, you need to crank through this flat part and get a good launch into Jib Jab. And coming through here, if you hit that jump at the right speed, it lands really nicely and launches you into everything else. You use pump, and get a foot out slide through the corners. This is another one you can work on your drifting through here. I'd love to see Ian take it. Some quick little corners down to the road. And then a cave canyon. It can be treacherous when it's wet. This is about 3 days after a good rain, and it was perfect. Beautiful forest. This is steep, but you can't really brake in the middle of the steep. And I've hit that rock on the left, the tree on the right. When you get in here, you kind of want to do a ski sort of turn. You want to push your back wheel out and grab the brake and really, I don't know if you've ever seen skiers go down the mountain and they kind of slalom, where they're going back and forth and carving the snow to control their speed. That's what you have to do in that steepest section. If you straight line down it and try and grab the brake, your back wheel is not going to hold. So you kind of have to get left and right and push into the ground to get some traction. And you come up here into these blind rollers. Those you want to get just over the front of the bike and then push it down toward the ground. And here you can take a couple pedal strokes and then pump. There's roots you want to ideally pop over. I didn't make it all the way this time. Great little jump here. And pedal and pump on through the ending.